Hello everyone, and welcome to my first ever reading vlog. It is so weird to be filming a reading vlog since I'm so used to just filming like a sit down video where it's just one go, and I'm trying to take like as many clips as I can of what I'm doing. Right now, anyways, is the only time I can actually sit down to open this reading vlog and welcome you all and say hi. Thanks for clicking on this video. I hope you enjoy it and join me this week. I'm just going to be safe and say that this vlog is going to be a kind of week of reading with me and a week of doing things that I do in a day with me. So that's taking care of my baby, reading books, of course, because books is a huge part of my life, and doing crafts. I'm currently right now embroidering a bunch of gifts for my friends. That is late because I was having such a hard time around Christmas time that I didn't get around to making gifts. So I'm just using the excuse that these gifts that I'm getting around to right now are Christmas/Valentine's Day. But yeah, right now I wanted to just inform you guys what I'm currently reading on the go for this reading vlog. So right now I'm reading Pamela for my English literature course by Samuel Richardson. Let me just tell you my thoughts. It's really good. The author does a really good job with the format of how he tells the book to kind of make the reader forget that there even is an author, and that it is literally just like these characters just are so real to me. I don't think I've ever read a book where a character or multiple characters have been more real, seemingly more real to me. This one is about a girl who's a servant for her master, Mr. B, and he likes her. He likes her a lot and he wants to make her his, and the way he goes about that is at first really disturbing. It deals with like conning her and like kind of kidnapping her in a way, but then it's really weird. Then there's like a twist that I'm not sure if I'm totally in love with. Not sure if I liked the twist so much, but I'm nearing the end of it. I'm currently on page 357 out of 516, and I'm going to the library actually to pick up the second book, the continuation of this, which is called Clarissa by Samuel Richardson. But the other books that I have on the go right now is Pickwick Papers by Charles Dickens, which I really pushed to the side because I needed to get some library book reading done, and so I needed to put that down for a bit for the Dickens versus Tolstoy debate. I do have till the end of March to finish that and Childhood, Boyhood, Youth, so I'm not too concerned about finishing that anytime soon. But I'm at the end of Pickwick Papers. It's still on the go. The next two books that I have on the go, because I'm currently in the middle of 4, are 2 audiobooks. I think they're really good audiobooks if you struggle with listening to an audiobook, because I could not listen to any kind of audiobooks. And then I picked these 2 up and I'm really into both of them. The first one is A Song of Wraiths and Ruin by Roseanne Brown. And the next audiobook I'm in, which I am in love with, I can't stop listening to it. I actually put A Song of Wraiths and Ruins on pause, is Becoming by Michelle Obama. I'm in the middle of it right now. Just her voice reading it to me, it's so immersive and I'm quite in love with it. So that's what I'm going to be putting on in the car right now to listen to while I go to my dad's work to pick up a gift card, and then to the grocery store to pick up a few items that we are out of, and then the library where I will be picking up Clarissa, and hopefully, I wonder when the library is actually going to open up again. I don't know when it's going to reopen. Hopefully soon, because I really miss being able to go and browse books. There's something different about browsing a library, because you can just take the book home with you, than with browsing a bookstore, because then you have to purchase that book in order to take it home with you. Anyways, I'm gonna get going listening to the audiobook. I can't film my trip because my audiobook is on my phone, and I do film on my phone. So yeah, I'll update you guys when I'm done. Before I head out, ignore the absolute mess of coffee, but this is what I bring my iced coffee in, a glass. This is what I got because I don't have a portable cup to put it into. It's not gonna spill. It's low enough. Alright guys, so I just went to Walmart for some letter writing paper and they legit don't have any. So, I mean, they had parchment ivory paper, but there was only 100 sheets and that was for $16.98 or something like that. So I don't know. I'm going to try Michael's, even though Michael's is really expensive for the stuff they have. But I do have a 30% off coupon that I'm going to use, and we'll see if I'll have a little bit more luck finding some letter writing stuff there. The puppy is watching her. Hello! You having a good time? Anyways, I wanted to quickly hop on here and update you guys because I got back from Walmart, Michael's, Dollarama, Sobeys, and the library. And I was looking for paper for writing letters. I actually did get paper for writing letters after looking for a while. Walmart had parchment paper, and that was the only paper I was going to use for writing. I don't like paper with lines. I don't know why. They did have parchment paper with no lines, but it was only 100 sheets for like $17, and I was not going to buy that. I'm sorry. So I went to Michael's, as overpriced as it is, but they still didn't have any kind of letter writing paper. But then I went to Dollarama thinking, oh, I'll just pick up their sketchbook. It's only $1. But then I found this craft pad, and it's I actually got 2 of them. I'll show you guys. And so it's 2 craft pads, and the paper is like normal paper. It's kind of thick, but it's thin at the same time. I don't know, it's weird. It feels weird. But yeah, it's brown, and they were only $2, 50 sheets. So for me, that's 200 sheets because I do write my letters on both sides. So basically 200 pages. Yeah, and right now I'm just going to go put groceries away. I come over here to put away groceries, and my brother already put away all of them. I just want to stand out here all day, but I can't because I have a baby inside. It's super bright and it's kind of cold, and I have to pour this coffee in a bottle and put it in the fridge to store it overnight. But it's so beautiful out today. He is running all over the house right now, going absolutely crazy. Having a time. Hello, you crazy girl. So I recently just stopped, actually just yesterday, I stopped drinking caffeine. So I moved on to decaf Tim Hortons, and that's why I have the decaf tin. Because caffeine was, I think, making Mercedes gassy. There's like nowhere to put this in the fridge. There we go, top shelf. It was making her very gassy, and I just gave it up to help her along with that because dairy was the main culprit. I gave that up a long time ago. Then it was, I heard somewhere onions that can make them gassy, so I just sort of gave that up. But caffeine, I heard, does it as well. And so, yeah, when I gave that up a while ago, she seemed really happy. I took it up again, and now I'm giving it up again. Hello, she's having a good time. You're swinging like crazy in that thing, huh? Mm-hmm. Oh, really? Is it fun? If I had a chair like that, I would have fun all day. This chair actually reminds me a lot of the chair I do want for myself. The egg chair, if you guys don't know what that is, it's like a chair that's like in the shape of an egg and like built out of wicker or like metal or something. I don't know what it's built out of. You can get multiple different kinds, but it's like super cushioned and it's hung on like one hook and it kind of like swings around freely. Kind of like a, you know, a swing seat that people have in their back porch. But it's like an egg chair. Go look up egg chair. And yeah, it's really amazing. I really want one, but it's so expensive and I have nowhere to put it. So maybe hopefully when we move out, I'll have a place to put it. But as of right now, Mercedes gets her own egg chair. Oh!
You go from a $20 light to like a $70 Milwaukee.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
These things, like, they're LED, but you got that many LEDs.
Yeah, jeez.
Hi.
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times.
Hi.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Hello.
7, 8, 10, so 60 LEDs.
Hi.
So, like,
About
boo
boo.
Forgot to pick roast and mac.
what was going on there?
You're hitting the
Something was
one.
poking me in the
We got a
back,
setup
man.
going on.
There's a ghost back there.
Oh, it was open.
It's Christmas vacation. Christmas vacation was poking me in the back. It's like something's poking me. It feels like a cat paw. I look back there, there's nothing. Can you imagine? It's the out button and it face just pumps out.
Okay, wait.
Griswold pops out. Oh, that kills me. Oh my gosh.
He got a Series X controller,
I never would have guessed. Can you put that
and
in
he's
here?
going to open it.
Are you? All right. It has been a few days. How long has it been?
Like 5 days.
Okay, so it's been 5 days. The reason that I thought that box was the controller was because it was scheduled for that day, but then I don't know. It never came. But 5 days later, here it is. Here's the box. Finally, the real thing.
So I just unboxed the Xbox Series X Red. Pulse Red, is it called?
Yeah.
It's called Pulse Red. The Pulse Red controller. And I'm hanging out with Mary. Hello. Say hello. How's it going? Whoa! And trying to think of when I can sit down to actually read Pamela today, because I need to get through that before it's due in at the library. And here I am, still on like page 360 something out of 516. And I picked up Clarissa, and it's a much larger book than what I was expecting. It's about 800 pages of pure 18th century text of this girl and her Life with Mr. B. And I'm a little worried I'm not going to be able to finish all these books before they're due in at the library. But I'm going to try my best, and I'm going to try to renew as many books as I can, since these old books don't seem to be very popular among the people who want to read them. So I'm thinking it's pretty possible that I'll be able to renew them. Finally able to sit down and read, and I'm so tired. I just finished nursing my daughter and I was reading Pamela, and I just couldn't retain anything that was going on in here because I was so tired. It feels like nothing's happening and I'm just waiting for this one big thing to happen, and it's just drawing out and drawing out and drawing out even more. And so yeah, I'm gonna go make some tea and get through more of this. Welcome to Thursday. An update on my reading vlog. I didn't get much reading done yesterday, or filming for that matter, because nothing really happened yesterday. I was just taking care of Mercedes all day long while my husband worked on his own YouTube, which is linked down below if you want to go check it out because I just mentioned it. Also, me and Alex have been watching Little House on the Prairie. We just started doing that like 3 days ago, and we're on episode 4 of the first season so far, and there's a lot of episodes to get through in Little House on the Prairie. If you've ever watched it, if you haven't, I recommend you do. It's really awesome. It's a fun family show. If you want to watch it, I do want to watch it with my kids. I have a lot to say about Pamela because I did get to read a little bit yesterday, and I am going to try to finish it today. I'm on page 449 out of 516. It, right now, in the book, the last 150 pages or so from where I am right now, So like after like page 300 or something like that, it's been going from like dry to juicy, but mostly right now I just feel like it's in the dry zone. But I just got finished with a really juicy part that when I explained it to my husband was really comedic and really funny, but in the moment when I was reading it, it was like so frustrating, and I was just soaked up in all of it. If you guys have watched Pride and Prejudice or have read Pride and Prejudice, if you know who Lady Catherine is, that's basically a character I'm dealing with right now. But other than that, I don't know what to think about the storyline, because for the first chunk, like the first good chunk of this book, it was so high tension, and I didn't like the master at all. I was rooting for Pamela, wishing she would like get to go to her parents, and I was just waiting for the time where she would be able to do that. Finally, there was a little relief for our character, like a little yay, our character gets rewarded for all her hard work and all her time suffering through what she had to suffer through. She finally gets a little bit of relief, but then something happens where like right before she's able to even fully receive that relief that we were waiting for the whole chunk of the book, she gets a letter and then makes a decision where I was really confused why she would make that decision. Like, come on girl, if I were you, I would be just not doing what you were doing. I would say the first chunk is the best chunk. The last chunk is just her explaining what everyday life is like and how happy she is. And I do have the second book, which is called Clarissa by Samuel Richardson, and I'm excited to see what that's going to be all about. Update on Becoming by Michelle Obama, which I've been listening so loyally to every single day. I have not quit that audiobook at all to go listen to A Song of Race and Ruins, which I paused just to listen to Becoming, and oh my goodness, it's pretty good. It's more personally based, more about their life, which is political in a way because it does involve politics so much, but it's not like she based her whole novel to be political. But it's really good so far. I'm really into it. I'm super invested. I love learning about their lives and the way she writes it and the way she reads it. I suggest listening to the audiobook instead of actually reading it by yourself, because the way she narrates it, and I love her voice, it's so captivating, and she does a really good job of drawing you into her story. Right now I'm going to be filming a couple of videos. I was going to include a little mini book haul in this reading blog because I thought I only had like 5 books to haul, but then I was going through the shelf to pick off the books that I haven't hauled on BookTube yet, and I discovered I have 14 new books that I have not hauled yet. So I'm just going to film a whole separate video for that, because yeah, that's going to take a while and I don't want to include that in this reading vlog for you guys. So yeah, anyways, I'm going to do that right now, and the next clip you see of me, I'll probably be reading. Hopefully I should be, because I'm running out of time. I just posted The Tomb of Horrors by Keith Francis Strohm on garage sale to sell it for free. Not really sell it, just give it away, because it was a read. That was it. good morning to a whole nother day that's part of this reading vlog. I was going to do an embroidery project where I would embroider a farmhouse with like a hay bale and some flowers or something like that, and then frame it for kind of like a wedding gift, a homemade wedding gift, because I really do like making homemade gifts more than going out and buying a gift, because I think they're just so much more special and like treasured in a way. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm sitting down to embroider this thing. Hopefully I can get some reading done. I have like 4 pages left in Pamela, so I most likely will be able to finish that today. I will actually, because yeah, I'll take some time to finish that and hopefully start another library book. But while I am embroidering this project, I am going to be listening to Becoming by Michelle Obama, because I do have it for only like 6 days left, and A Song of Wraiths and Ruins for only 5 days left. But I want to finish Becoming before I pick up A Song of Wraiths and Ruins where I left off again. So hopefully I can get through a big chunk of that today while I am embroidering. The baby is sleeping, so now's the perfect time to get started. What's going on, huh? Hello, it's been a couple of days and I'm finally updating you guys. It is currently Sunday. I don't know what day I started this vlog on, but I wanted to update you guys about my reading progress. I did finish Pamela by Samuel Richardson, and I think I'm gonna give it 3 stars. I did already give it 3 stars on Goodreads. It was great. It was great for the first like 75% of the book. I was so enthralled. It was really good. There was high tension. I loved the characters. The characters throughout the whole book just feel so real. And yeah, the story was kind of weird. There's a lot to say about it. I would say a lot. Maybe I could make a whole review about that. I kind of want to write a review on Goodreads that contains spoilers, because it's just, there's so much to say on it. And I started Wild Game by Adrian Brodier. It's really interesting so far. I started it yesterday, I think is when I started it, and I got to page 123. The writing in here is really good. She has great vocabulary, and it reminds me a lot of Michelle Obama's Becoming, even though Michelle Obama's Becoming is like probably 10 times better than this. But yeah, so that's how Wild Game is going. After this, I don't know which other library book I plan to pick up, but I do plan to pick up another library book because they're all going to be due back at the library soon, and I think I don't have any renews remaining, so I can't renew any books, unfortunately. Hey guys, welcome to Wednesday. Today, I'm going to the library, not to collect a book, but to browse books, because libraries are now open, and I'm so happy about that. That's very exciting, because they were closed for the longest time, and we were only able to place holds on books online and then just go there to pick them up, which was not something book lovers really like to do, because I'm sure we all like to browse bookshelves and books and go in and experience that. She agrees. So I've finished Pamela and Wild Game, and I started William Wordsworth's selected poems. I'm on page 91 out of like 460 something, and I have a couple of poems of his that I absolutely loved and I had to write down. And the first one is Lines Written in Spring, which I found on page 58, and the poem We Are Seven. My favorite one, I think, is Lines Written a Few Miles Above Tintern Abbey on Revisiting the Banks of the Wye During a Tour, July 13th, 1798. That's a really long title, but I really loved that one for the imagery, because he did such a good job to explain what he was seeing, and he's kind of standing by a river, and he's taking in like the mountains, the hills, the forests, the prairies, and the rivers, and he's explaining them in all their beauty and glory, and kind of at the end thanks the reader in a way for like being on that journey with him, and kind of says in his own like very poetic, beautiful words that you were thanking you for standing with him on that riverbed and being able to share in that experience with him. And I thought that was amazing in that poem. I absolutely loved that. And I'm also stressing out about finishing Becoming by Michelle Obama, since it is such a popular book and audiobook. I feel like I'm not going to get it done in time, and I can't renew it, and I also can't find the physical copy for right away, and I don't want to wait over 6 months to finish it, and I'm 80% of the way through right now, and it's due in 2 days, so yeah. Will I be able to finish it? Who knows? Who knows? Do you think I'll be able to finish it? What do you think about that? Maybe I'll find the actual physical copy in the library today when I go, because sometimes the library says that a certain book I'm looking for is unavailable online to request, but like I go in and it's there on the shelf and I just have to take it off, and that's something that is really messed up about my library and is why I am happy that it's open now. I'm right now on my way to the library because it's open, and I'm going to, for the first time in forever, browse the books. I don't know. I'm hoping I can find Becoming by Michelle Obama on the shelves, because then I will take it out and return the audiobook right away and just finish the rest of the 20% that I do have through the physical copy. But if not, I mean, right now I'm going to listen to the audiobook on the trip there. I'm only going to be in the library for a little while because I don't want to take up too much time there, and I also have to be back for supper and for when my baby wakes up from her nap and wants some food. So I'm so excited to be able to go to the library for the first time in forever. Hey guys, so I'm back from the library, my quick library trip that didn't turn out to be quick. I know I said I wanted to be fast, but I ended up stopping and looking in every single section of the library for a long period of time. But I found Becoming by Michelle Obama, and I sat there and I looked through the pages to try to find the place that I was at that I remember was the last thing that we read in the audiobook on the way to the library, and I wanted to bookmark it so I would know and be able to follow along. It's actually very near to the end. But I found this library ebooks for your Kobo e-reader pamphlet to use as a bookmark in the library, and I thought, oh, I should probably take that home anyways, because I was wondering how, and like all the different tricks on through the library to get a library book for my Kobo e-reader, because they had Kindle, but I have Kobo, and Kobo's like a little more difficult to get books, I think, on, since it's not as well known as Kindle. But yeah, I picked up that pamphlet and I put it in the book as a bookmark. But I'm so glad I found that, so now I'm no longer stressed out about finishing the audiobook before it's due, like tomorrow or something like that. And then I was looking through like the health and wellness. It's 500 ketogenic recipes just for ideas, because like I just feel like we're eating the same thing over and over again. So the two books I found in arts and crafts are both for embroidery. I just wanted like ideas, but also like instructions, since I am a she's so talkative. I'm a beginner with this, and so they have kind of like instructions on different stitches and like stitch patterns that you can do. I think that's really cool. Hey guys, it is now Thursday. It is a beautiful sunny day out today. It's 10 degrees Celsius outside right now, which is wonderful. Such warm weather for the month of March. In February and like January we had like a cold spell where it was like up to -40, feeling like -40. It was like -28, -30 or something, but it felt like -40. So that was rough, but now it's a much nicer weather. I opened the window today to get a little bit of fresh air in, which was well needed. But right now I'm in the car to go get one of those floaty things that you can put around your baby's neck. I'm hoping it works out okay, just so baby can, because she loves to kick in the bath. I want to like be able to fill up the bath all the way and just watch her kick. Hopefully that works out. It was going to be like $50 to $60 buying brand new and with shipping to be shipped to us, but I found one used for only $5, so whatever, I'm going to go pick that up. I wanted to give an update on my reading. I finished Becoming by Michelle Obama last night, and I gave it 4 stars because I really enjoyed it. It was really well written and well constructed, and it was so immersive, but I like absolutely adored reading about her and like everything about her and her family and just what life was like. It was super interesting to get a first-hand experience, look into that kind of life. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Gave that 4 stars. And now I am working through William Wordsworth's poems. I am stuck on a really long poem right now, and I picked up The Monk because that is on the reading list. I had no idea what it was about, but now slowly getting into it, I'm kind of like questioning if I even want to read it. So I think I'll read a little bit more into it because I'm still kind of confused about like exactly what it's about, but I'm pretty sure it's about stuff that I like really don't want. There's my brother, he's going to school. Bye. I think I really don't want to read about that if my suspicions are correct, which I think they are. So I might end up DNFing that and just not reading it for English literature, which I'm okay with. I don't have to read it. It's one of the books I really just don't have to read. So that's nice. And get on to The Professor by Charlotte Bronte and Edward II. Clarissa. I should definitely return The Monk if I don't want to read it because Clarissa is going to take a hot minute to finish. And I also have to finish Pickwick Papers and Childhood, Boyhood, Youth by the end of this month, so I think returning The Monk is a good idea. Hey guys, it is now Friday. I have coffee because there was extra coffee made, and with The Monk, I decided I really don't want to read it, so I did put it on my pile of books. It's right there to go back to the library. I'm not going to waste my precious reading time reading The Monk when I could be reading The Professor by Charlotte Bronte. It's average, it's meh right now. I'm just following a dude as he works. Hey guys, so I went to the thrift store maybe like 3 or 4 days ago, and I found these candle holders and I put candles in them. And just last night I started reading my book and writing by candlelight. I think it's really cool because I always wanted to try that, and it was super awesome. I love it a lot, and it gives the room a really pleasing glow. Also, the light from the candles is like bright enough for me to be able to read sufficiently without like straining, but also like dim enough that it doesn't bother anyone else in the room and it doesn't bother the baby while she's sleeping. So I think that's a bonus, because if like I turn on the lamps on the bedside table, it's suddenly super bright, you know? But yeah, if I just turn it off, it's like perfect. I love the glow. I love it so much. It suddenly started to snow so heavily. Not that bad, but like pretty heavy. But it's so warm outside, it's like 3 degrees, that it's all melting. As soon as it hits any surface that's been like even remotely a little bit warmed. It's so pretty though. So I actually think I might be able to read 100 pages today, because I started on page 115. Where was that? I'm currently on page 183. So I might be able to get to 215 today. Hopefully I'll be able to finish that up. It's like here. I read that much so far today, and that's the rest to complete the goal of 100 pages. That's what I need to read. And then I'll be on chapter 21. Let's see. And those like notes take up a whole section in the back here. So that'll be as much left as I need to read. So yeah, I'm like a little over halfway done. us bowls of popcorn. Good morning, it's Sunday today. Pardon the kettle in the background, it is making a lot of noise. But this morning I am making oat cream because I found a homemade recipe on Pinterest this morning, and so I really want to make that for my coffee or anything else that I would want cream for. I'll leave the link to the recipe where I got the recipe down below. I just found it today on Pinterest and I followed her, and it looks like she's got a lot of like organic, really healthy homemade recipes that you can do. So like homemade cream, homemade milk, homemade stuff like that. And stuff that you would usually go to a grocery store to just buy in bulk that's been pre-packaged and stuff like that. You can just quickly make it up fresh and homemade at home. Okay, so my husband bought me these as a present. They're stainless steel ice cubes. I've been using like water ice cubes all this time, and let's see. They just like sink right to the bottom. I mean, I don't know what I expected them to do. I'm gonna put like 3 in there because they weren't exactly like totally frozen. I think he got these for me because my ice, I would leave my iced coffee for so long that the ice inside of it would melt and it would form this like watery layer on top of my coffee, which was kind of gross. And so from then on, which wasn't very, it didn't take very long to get that way, but from then on it would be like watery coffee that was kind of gross to drink. So this way, the ice cubes don't melt and they're very cold and they stay cold for much longer. I was using those plastic ice cubes that like you can get from Dollarama, but this is much nicer. Okay guys, I'm just coming on here because I think I'm going to wrap up this vlog right now. I'm at the very end of The Professor, but I don't think I will be able to finish it today. I'll update you guys what my reading was and what I think about this in my next vlog. I'm speaking quietly because my baby's having a nap right now. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you join me on my next reading vlog because I really do enjoy making these. It's so much fun and I'm excited to see what comes of this. So yeah, join me on my next reading vlog where I work my way through all of my library books, The Professor included. I will be talking about my final thoughts in the next ones. Yeah, thank you so much again for watching. Please subscribe if you want more reading vlogs. Definitely. And turn on the notification bell if you want to be notified because I'm so excited. Yeah, so I'm so excited to make more of these. Please like if you liked this one and subscribe if you want more reading vlogs, or just tell me, just comment. you know, comment it if you want more. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you guys later. Bye.